All right, guys, so buckle up because today I'm going to share with you one of my obsessions, which is human energy transformation. And I've done extensive research in this subject because it started with a desire to change myself at the deepest level of my being, to go beyond mindset, beyond breathwork, beyond meditation, and to really push the frontier of human potential in transformation. And so I started to become obsessed with the fabric of reality, which is 99.999 energy. And I started studying a little bit of quantum physics, spirituality, religious texts, and both of them combined into the understanding that indeed energy is everything. And I don't want you to think about it as energy, but as information. The particles of light within every atom, within every molecule is intelligence. And so if we learn how to shift the field, we can change the matter. This is really the core of how we can create reality. And so how do we shift our inner universe? How do we shift our inner field? Because if we shift the field, we change matter. And this fascinated for so freaking long that I started studying energy medicine. I graduated as a civil engineer, and I was able to find this hidden power within us that is closer than you think. Okay, so we're in my computer now. I'm going to show you a deeper look at this understanding and how you can actually start changing yourself, your reality, your identity permanently and faster than ever before using these tools and this modality called Transcendence healing. So as you can see, this is my lab, a lot of research, a lot of understanding, but this is it. Once we start to understand that we have this field of information around us, then if we work on the field, we can change the matter. You know, the field is the principle of cause, matter is the principle of effect. Just the same way that energy or empty space is the cause of things and matter is the effect as well. And so this is pretty cool because everything we experience, it limits in our finances, a heartbreak, attracting the same partner, having spots, having different rashes on our face, having allergies. All of these things are the effect of a deeper root cause. And I found through this work that the cause is always in the field, always in the information of these energy centers that really give us life. And so the most important thing to understand is this. Let me show you here. These are the levels of consciousness. Our own field carries different thoughts, feelings, and emotions. If we want to expand our levels of consciousness and manifest faster, we simply need to permanently raise our vibrations to reach these more blissful, wholesome, holistic states of being, of love, joy, and peace. And the fastest way to do that is to work directly on the energy centers, because I found out that the majority of the trauma, the limiting beliefs, the stuck memories, the blocks on a subconscious level related to lack, related to scarcity, all get stored in these energy centers that I call the keepers of our identity. And so for example, if I show you this chakra functions master sheet, we have such a beautiful holistic view of how everything works. So these are the 7 main keepers of our identity. And if we just look directly at our psychological functions, we can reverse engineer. And so if we want more spiritual connection, more connection to ourselves, to higher consciousness, we need to work directly on the respective field. It's like the CEO of that specific function. If we want to improve our self-expression, our communication, then we need to go back to the throat. And you might already know this, but the issue is in the field right now, there isn't a technology that can actually clear and purify the chakras on a really profound and permanent level. And that's the journey that I've embarked on the last 3 years, is how do I find, or how do I create a method that allows me to have this permanent change that I want? And that's the origin, seed, and the story of Transcendence healing. And so below this video, you're going to have a link to do a Transcendence healing session so that you can experience this for yourself. This is a modality that I've developed over the last 3 years, and it's a blessing to humanity. We've had amazing life-changing results, and there's nothing more that I want to do than to share that with you. And so please go and give it a shot. You're going to absolutely love it. And what we do is, depending on the session that I put down there, I might put one for the root or one for the heart. This is how everything is going to change. So when you work on the field, you actually level up your chakra and your energy centers. You might be operating right now out of 100%, even if you've done all of the inner work in the world. Your centers are probably operating between 0 to 10% out of 100. So there's this untapped potential of 95% that you are not currently experiencing. And this is fascinating because this pushes the boundaries of human potential, of human energy transformation. So with this technology and this method, you're able to take your energy centers from 5% to 95 or even 100% in one single session of 15 to 20 minutes. It's really like magic and miracles. And the beautiful thing is, if you wanted to accept and love yourself more, to be open, to have more intimacy, to deepen your relationship of love to everything around you, then you go back and you work directly on the field of the heart, and you're going to have this ripple effect where you're knocking down the biggest domino, and then all of these things, right? The I am unlovable programming, it gets completely removed and it gets replaced by I am lovable, I am loving, I am deserving and worthy of love and acceptance from myself and other people. So this is really cool how we can reverse engineer psychological and physical problems and even nervous system problems all the way back to the field. And so the field is the secret. So where do we go from here? Well, we need to then go into, okay, so what you're seeing now is a diagram that I've been working. I'll explain it to you in a bit, but this is really important, okay? This is what happens to you. You have your energy here. Your energy turns into your nervous system and it gets life to the physical body. So if you want more money, for example, how do we transform that? If we work directly on the field, we need to ask ourselves, does it feel safe for us to receive large sums of money? If it doesn't feel safe, then we need to go back and work on the root. Yeah, the root governs your psychological functions of safety and security. And if your root is operating at 5%, then your safety and security and survival functions are probably operating at 5% out of 100, which is crazy. And so this is how we all start, by the way. And then the cool thing is, I understand this, the root is linked to survival and adrenal glands, and it's going to trigger this fight or flight system. If I don't feel safe in my body, if I don't feel peace, then I'm going to be worried, stressed, anxious about money. There's never enough. I'm in lack. I'm in survival. And the way that you really delete this and reprogram this is you need to get rid of this limiting belief of I am unsafe, and you need to purify the root center that is going to be operating on average around 5%. So you might be asking, what blocks these energy centers? Well, there's a lot of things that block it. There's trapped emotions related to fear. There's subconscious blocks. There's trauma. There's imbalances. There's actually things that you inherit from your parents and their parents that are currently stuck there. This is called ancestral or inherited trauma. And so the way that this, really how we do this is, look at this. This is really important. So the chakras, we said, keepers of your identity. Transformation is nothing more than removing the layers of programming that create the ego mind and the inner critic so that your natural state of wholeness and of your true self get integrated and embodied instantly. Like if you think about it, when you were a kid, it's really natural for you to be authentic and loving and abundant, carefree, childlike joy and peace and happiness. What happens is along the years, you start accumulating this emotional mud that starts to block your energy centers, that starts to block your light. And this is what creates this entity that I call the inner critic. It's created through ancestral lineage, your limiting programs, your trapped emotions, energy block, trauma, X, Y, and Z. This inner critic manifests as the unworthiness, the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, the perfectionism, the addiction to stress and anxiety. That is your inner critic, the voice inside that treats you really harshly, that is like this demanding parent that tells you that you're never good enough. And so this can be traced all the way back to our energy centers. If I can work on purifying these energy centers, I can start purifying my inner critic. And if I purify my inner critic, I can live more in alignment with my true self. So all of this is an invisible realm, but it's very, very real. Because as you win these battles of each chakra, then you give the power back to the true self. I want you to imagine this this energy world is like it's almost like a war inside of you. And the majority of the time, unfortunately, in my own experience, for many, many years, and for most of us, the ego, the inner critic, is winning the battle inside. It has like more territories or more countries that it has kind of conquered. Yeah. And then the mind governs our lives. It's the guy or the girl at the driver's seat. So we need to conquer back those territories inside our beings. And the way that we do this, the fastest, the most effective way, and the permanent way, if you want this, you need to do that this way. You need to clear and purify the energy, the field, so that everything else falls into place. So every single chakra is like a main battlefield between your inner critic and your true self. When you purify things, you release so much of this emotional slack, and you're able to have more clarity, less negative thinking, less negative emotions, just as a natural byproduct of doing this deep subconscious and energetic clearing. And that is how you start living heaven on earth. Slowly but surely, the more purification sessions that you do, the less inner criticism you have, until one day you dissolve this inner critic for real, and you get to wake up every single day with more peace, with more joy, with more authenticity, just like when you were a kid. And this is how we give the battle back to the heart, which is the true self, instead of the mind that lies. And so this is how we reconnect to what you really want. And the last thing is the purification allows you to purify the 4 lower bodies of the physical, emotional, mental, and etheric bodies. And this is really cool because you start purifying your different feelings, your thoughts, your memory, your actions, and you start to raise your level of consciousness. And you start with the energy centers, the physical body, the emotional body that stores your feelings and your thoughts, and then the etheric, which stores your memories. And so you go through all of this purification and you raise your levels to become more pure. You're purifying yourself, which means you're coming back to purity, which is your home of love, wisdom, and power. And this is how we connect everything to self-mastery, to ascension, to spiritual purification. It's this really amazing interconnected web of different things. So let me know if you like this quick introduction to human energy transformation. I'm giving you the theory, and I'm also giving you the actual transformational experience. Okay, so go tap into it. Let me know your comments. I would love to do more things in depth. If there's a specific topic you want me to go into, please put it in the comments. From this introduction, we can make probably 8 or 10 master classes. So from this, let's see what we create. All right, much love. I'll see you on the next one.